All right, this is going to be a lot of stuff. This is the real city. A lot of choices here, a lot of info. I don't know how much of it I'm going to read. All right, so you reach the fortified gates of the great city after waiting your turn in the line of chatting travelers, bleeding beasts of burden, swearing loaders, exhausted slaves, decrepit pilgrims, and fellow Vagri. You're greeted gruffly by guards under the shadow of the gatehouse. Approach or decide to turn back. Of course we're going to approach. An inspection follows. You have nothing to hide, or at least there is no way they can find it. So there are contraband items that you can purchase at various shady locations, transport them somewhere else, and you have to smuggle them into the city, basically, if they do checks like this. So Torzag is a pretty big place. They definitely check. We're not going to be dealing with contraband for a while. I know of it, and I know what to watch out for so I don't accidentally carry it, but I'm not going to be dealing in contraband right now. Trying to smuggle in illicit goods is quite risky, very low chance of success. And this is based on the professional perk points that we picked earlier. There are certain ones you can pick that help with the smuggling chances when you make these die rolls. So you can bribe the guards or turn back. We have nothing to hide. All right, we got through the inspection. Now we have to pay the gate tax, pay it with goods. Swear to pay when we leave. It'll cost more if we do that one, or again, leave. And if we get high enough faction with one of the trading houses, we can show our trading house license and just bypass the gate tax. That's another thing you can get with dedicated work and delivery successfully for certain houses. As you raise your faction with them, you get to a certain point eventually where you get this kind of a benefit. You can also ignore the tax collectors out on the toll roads and things like that. So a lot of reasons to kind of focus on houses and raise your faction with them. You get a lot of benefits that pay off. All right, pay the gate tax. So costs us 3 changers. So that's the cheapest one. Bros, Learg, and changers. Head to the Mancio. All right, so now we've got the full list. So Torzag Shelter. Though the vast caverns and tunnels inside Blackblood Mountain merely gave refuge to war leader Torzag many centuries past, the imperial city of Tenebvitris, or as people have been persistently calling it, Torzag Shelter, that sprung up there following the war, managed to transform into one of the most important settlements on the continent, often referred to as Surgorod City. The shelter not only houses the cathedral of the Raging One in its immense Everdark caves, but is also a bustling trading settlement and the center of obsidian harvesting in the region. Thousands toil and haggle under its wrought iron chandeliers every day, while servants of the Master of Curses deal out justice in the name of their malevolent god. All right, so in this first section, kind of the story section, we have choices. We can go to the Undercity, the Dark Underbelly, the Temple District, the servants of the Empire's gods, the Civic District, with inns in the shadows of public buildings, the Market District, and then just go randomly wandering around exploring. A lot of possibilities, I understand, here in this town, and knowing to go to certain places through prior knowledge is probably a big thing. We're definitely going to go visit a few places, but I'm going to check these other options first. So we're in the shelter. We specifically purchased some wine, and we want to sell it here, but now we have the opportunity to go look at this screen. So earlier, we didn't really have much to look at here. I couldn't really explain, but now we have the location we're at is always on the left, and then you can sort what you want column-wise by places you visited here, so these can shift around. But it's showing the information next to the Torzag information. So if we sort and then go look at the wine and the luxury wine, we can see both on that screen. Here's the wine. So in Kernak, essentially, we bought it, this top line, for 1.8. And now we can sell it here in Torzag's for 3.4. So, you know, good number. We bought it low. We're selling it at a higher number. That's great. A lot of things to realize if you haven't played trading games like this before is you could have a really good profit number between these two values, but if they only sell 2 units, you're not really going to make much money. Whereas if there was like just a 1 point increase, say 8 to 9, that you would profit just 1 single unit of this lowest currency, but they sold 1,000 of them and you could actually deliver 1,000, then you would make a lot more money. So it's not just a matter of, is this number bigger than this number? It's, is this number bigger than this number? And how many units are available? And how much, if I deliver a huge amount, is it going to depress the price? Will it collapse the price to a point where I lose money? And am I going to have to spread the 1,000 units I purchased over 3 or 4 different locations to try to get rid of it? And of course, distance, I'm sure, matters as well. But finding trade routes, finding good deals between locations, the fluctuating market, distances involved, specialties that are built at specific locations, like marble at one place is always going to be at a low price because they make it there or they dig it there, and you deliver that to other places that do a lot of building, so they pay more for it. All of that kind of stuff you have to kind of learn as you play, but this is the basics of how it works. So you can also see here the prices, or the price info is 5 days old. So we're going to go ahead and sell our wine. We're going to make a profit on that. And the luxury wine we started with, I don't think we had a buy value that we needed to worry about, but it still is a profit, even if we did purchase it. So bought it at 7 theoretically, and we're selling it for 1.0 versus 0.7 or however these decimals work out. So now that we know that that's true, let's just go ahead and sell everything and then figure out what else we're going to do. So I can just drag and drop, or I can click the sell button. I'm just going to drag and drop both the luxury wine and the wine. So we're up to 41 Bros. 41, 0, and 4. All right, next thing I want to make sure that I talk about, supplies. So supplies are what you have to eat. It's more than food. It's like minor repair materials and all sorts of stuff, but it's easiest just to think of it as food, essentially. We have to carry supplies for our travels. And if we're going off-road, we have to decide it's going to cost more to move space to space. So are we going to carry more supplies to get us to our destination? Or are we going to try to scavenge and hunt and so on? Because that's going to have a large determination on how we outfit our crew. Do we purchase 20 scouts to bring along with us to do a bunch of the scavenging and hunting to try to feed us as we travel so we don't have to carry as much with us? And feeding into that is that the cost of supplies, you'll notice supplies is just one of the lowest value denomination. I think this goes up over time, but Torzag in the early game, this is the cheapest supply you can get. There is no lower denomination to move to, so it doesn't get any cheaper. But the instant you go somewhere else, this number might be 2. So twice as expensive, or 3, triple the expense. And they might not have very many. You might need 500 to feed your huge caravan, and they might only have 200. So you're paying triple price and not even getting enough to get you where you need to go. So you have to carefully think ahead to plan, okay, I'm in a major hub now. Do I bulk up on a huge amount of supplies that I have to carry that's taking up my cargo space because I know I'm going somewhere that's a tiny little hamlet that's not going to have hardly any quantity and it's going to be really high price. So do you take enough with you for the trip there and back, or the trip there and then onward to your next destination, or what? Just be aware. I know just from research and from my limited play previously, this is a huge consideration. You need to think ahead with the size of your caravan and the cost of supplies and what you're delivering, and that all factors into whether you're going to make a profit or not. Because you could be buying stuff to deliver, and when you get there, you've made 10 Leerg profit, and then you go look at the supplies you have to buy for the return trip, and it's going to cost you 20 Leerg just to get back to where you came from. You're now negative 10 for the entire trip. So, hopefully you were making faction by delivering stuff for faction houses. That's at least going to be forward progress, even though you lost money on the trip. So just be very cautious and be aware, because supplies are required for travel for your comitatus, that you need to carefully consider the prices, the quantities, your cargo capacity, and so on. So, all right, just more things to think about, which is great. I like this kind of stuff. This is the kind of stuff that interests me, where there's a lot of variables, but they're understood, they're clearly laid out, and the player has the ability to kind of parse it together and figure out how best to handle whatever situation they're in. All right, so we got a number of things we need to do. I need to explore the city a bit. I want to go find the guy that he told us to go talk to, Braxius. I'd like to buy some medical supplies, so we need to track down where the medical supplies are purchased because they're not purchased via the marketplace here. We need to figure out what we're going to buy. Are there any faction missions or jobs we can pick up to take somebody someplace? Hopefully multiples of them. Are we going to use some of our money to purchase another beast of burden to increase our cargo capacity? Or are we going to get a bunch of scouts or try to travel light? A lot of this is going to be based on where we decide to go. I can't really make decisions on how I'm going to outfit my comitatus until I know where I'm going, because that's going to kind of make certain deciding factors on how we go about things. So let's stay out of the marketplace for the moment. Oh, there's going to be more stuff here if we go to equipment. So now there's more stuff. So good quality tools, good animals, protected harnesses. What does that do? Minus 10% consumption for beasts of burden. Less food for the beast of burden. Plus 5 flee, plus 2 mount defense, outrider defense, beast defense. Saddles and harnesses are equipped with hardened leather shields to protect animals and riders. So requirements have at least 1 beast of burden. And categories harness defense. So where would this go? Miscellaneous? Does it say what slot it goes to? It just says categories harness and defense. So we got miscellaneous. Slot is locked. We gotta have anything grayed out. We've got to have a companion in a particular job deputy position to free it up. But we have a navigation, a sorcery, a tools, and a miscellaneous. So that says tools, miscellaneous, outpost. So harnesses and defense. That's the cargo category. Yeah, I'm not sure which one. Oh, that's the harnesses. So our turkey and awnings is taking up the harness slot. All right. That's fine. So, yeah, more stuff. And we'll definitely be looking for certain things to try to upgrade our caravan. Anything we can find that's going to reduce consumption is going to be huge. So, all right. No faction offers directly. Cultivating a good relationship with certain factions will benefit you in many ways, one of these being special trade offers they provide at the market, but only where the given faction has a presence. You can check if you have access to trade offers on the Faction Details tab on the Leader UI. Higher standing with the faction unlocks better offers. Can be for buying and selling goods, and are always for full stacks. 2 prices are given, normal and preferential, with the latter costing you reputation with the faction. So you trade rep for buying a cheaper stack. Fixed as opposed to dynamic market prices. Cool. Let's go ahead and look at that next. So here's the faction screen that we couldn't see earlier. So many settlements have faction panes like this one, where you can interact with factions with a presence at the given location. Each faction provides a variety of tasks you can take on. Tasks are procedurally generated, non-story related objectives you can complete for money and reputation. You can take on tasks on the Available tab. Each has requirements, including faction standing tiers and free cargo space. The Active tab is where you can turn in tasks if you're at the right place, or discard them. Be mindful that doing so will result in serious penalties. And then the Rewards tab lists all the faction standing rewards you can potentially claim. Alright, so there's different kinds of jobs. We want supply runs, mainly. We do not want conquer. We do not anything. We don't want anything that's going to involve fighting of any kind. So conquer is out. Abduct is out. Defend is out. And I believe we can click this button here to sort it between the 2 types. So supply runs, and I think this is the other types: conquers, abducts, defends. So let's just keep it on this screen right here. So now what we're going to look at is the location. That's what I care about most. Do we have a duplicate for locations? So I see Lumen and Lumen. Archerous Quarry, Arkan, Kernak, Devon, Arkan, Devon, Kernak, Lumen, Arkan. All right, so Lumen and Arkan are coming up pretty often. Lumen is west of us, a little northwest, and Arkan is almost due north. And we can actually click this little button here, and it'll take us right to the location. So we're in Torzag Shelter. That's Arkan right there. It's not on our map yet because we haven't visited the location. Once we go there, it'll show on the map permanently from then on. And then I believe Lumen is over here next to these crystals. That's the thing that they do, is they go into this kind of crystal forest and harvest this stuff. And there's going to be all sorts of stuff kind of along the roadways here. So Arkan and Lumen. For some reason, I thought Arkan was up here. Did it actually... Supply run? No, that's not the one. That's not the one I clicked on. No, it does say that in Lumen. All right, whatever. Yeah, Arkan is just north. All right. Maybe that's not Lumen. Maybe Lumen is... I can't remember. Whichever. Arkan's a good place to go to start with, though. I remember that. So let's check the list and try to pick up Arkan stuff. Now, I got to be careful. It shows here that they're going to take 2 slots of inventory. And I don't have enough food right now. So, and we do have limited money, especially if I wanted to buy a second Beast of Burden. It's going to cost, I think, 25 out of that 41 to buy a second Beast of Burden. And if we're going to try to go off-road, I'm going to need to hire a bunch of scouts. And still, I want to make sure we start with a decent amount of this. But a second Beast of Burden will unlock several more of the slots. So we're looking at 2 cargo for Arkan. 2 more for Arkan. 2 more for Arkan. So 2, 4, 6. I think that was it. Yeah. So that's 6 slots for Arkan. We don't even have 6 slots currently if I were to try to do that. And I have to make sure we have enough supplies and anything else we do. So we know we've got that available. Let's go check. Yeah, let's check the Mancio. So rumors, strangers in Tarathian's Fall. Who could they be? Sure. An old vagabond was blathering about men in black armor, sneaking around Tarathian's Fall in the south from shelter. He may be seeing things due to cheap booze, but maybe you could check it out. Tarathian's Fall in the south from the shelter. Huh. Ah, middle of that area. No idea what that's about. How about passengers? Anybody going to Arkan? Nobody going to Arkan, unfortunately. So I'm going to Devon, but Devon's way far north. I don't want to deal with Devon yet. Not going to Crystal, not going to the quarry. So we don't need to worry about passengers taking up any of our cargo space or anything like that. We've done the rumors. Hey, we can get one of the changers for exchanging news. So we'll do that. So beasts of burden. 25 of the big dollar, or the brass. So if we do that, the consequence is going to be we get more cargo space, but it's going to increase our supply consumption, and we have to hire more people to have enough workforce. We might not. We're producing 14.2 and we only need 6.5. This doesn't actually say how much this is going to require. For workforce. I don't know if I can see that number anywhere. So yeah, cargo value is going to be adding 65. It doesn't say workforce requirement. Oh, there it does. Workforce needed 4. So if all I do is buy that, then we're actually okay. Because we'd only go to 10.25 and we've got 14 available. So we wouldn't need anybody extra, but I would still want to get some scouts. Scouts are pretty cheap, so, well, maybe not. If I buy enough of them, that'll add up. Alright, I think we could afford that if we don't buy anything else to take with us. And we've got 3 missions, so yeah, let's go ahead and set this up. Let's buy another Beast of Burden. So now we have 2. And that opens up more slots, but 2, 4, 6. That's going to leave 2 slots for supplies. So I think we'll go ahead and fill this with supplies, get a bunch of scouts, and then see if we can manage to get things done. So we'll do that. We're down to 13. And then I need to decide how many scouts are we going to get. There's only 9 available, so I guess we're going to get 9. All right, 9 scouts. So now with the additional burden, we are 11-15 out of 14-20. We're still okay there, but how about defense? Do we have enough warriors to defend? Where do I see that? Crew details. I know we've got to be able to see it somewhere. Not under companions and deputies. Ah, there we go. We need 9 to be fully defended, so we need at least a couple more warriors. Let's get 1 more. So we have 1 extra. All right, that lets us pick the final defense option when we rest, so we'll have full defenses. All right, we're down to 12 brass, 12.7. We've got 2 stacks of food. That's 6 days. I think if we... I don't know how well we're going to do with only 9 scouts in trying to hunt or scavenge. We don't really have... We've got beast lore for hunting base chance increase. Only 1 level in that, though. 1 level of herb lore, which is foraging, and then 2 actual hunting skill. So, we'll see. I think we'll be able to grab enough when we straight line it instead of going on the roads to at least supplement the what we've got. And I think we could make it, even if we don't scavenge any. All right, so we're done there. Let's go pick up our arcane. So House Oakwoe, that's good. Let's actually go look at another thing real quick. So this is the objectives, tasks, news, qualities. That's not what I want to look at. That's not what I want to look at. That one? No, not that one. I mean, it shows House Oakwoe and some of the information in their background. Tons and tons of background. And history and lore and world building and so on. I want to see details on our status with them. I can't remember where that's at. Ah, factions. Here we go. All right, so our character sheet, factions tab. So House Oakwoe. I believe these are the trade houses. These are the churches. These are... not merchant guilds, loaders guild and carpenters guild. They're like the workforce guilds. And then I think these, oh no, these are the churches. These must be the, these might be the criminals actually, even though they've got those names. Yeah, they're in categories in each column basically. So House Oakwoe is who we're looking at. And even more details. Yeah. So House Oakwoe, we're at plus 61 currently, and it shows where they have a presence. Apparently Torazag Shelter, they've got a strong presence. We're heading to Arcane. They don't have a presence in Arcane, so we likely, I don't know if we'll get options from them in Arcane or not. I don't know if it has to do with that or turning in rewards and stuff. But we can see we've got 61 points. We need 29 more points to get to this first level of reputation. Action to faction trade offers 1. Alright, and then tasks. We don't have any active tasks currently. We're about to take some tasks. So, a lot of details. Alright, so Arcane, 2 category, or 2... They'll give us 12 days to make the delivery. We'll make it there easily in that time. It costs 2 of my cargo spaces, and they're going to pay us 9 of the brass. So, we'll take Arcane. Scroll down, and then supply run for the Loaders Guild. Now, some of the factions are diametrically opposed to each other. So by doing a job for one faction, you could be lowering your reputation with its diametrically opposed faction. I'm not going to worry about that in the early game. I need money. I'm going to worry less about faction politics and just take any jobs I see going to the same place. But that is something you have to consider. All right, so Arcane, 11 days, 2. Take that. And supply run for the Ratharnak Alliance. Arcane, 11 days, 2. That was the last one, right? Yep. All right, so there's our active ones. So, we've got our Beast of Burden. We've got our warriors. We've picked up scouts. We have enough workforce, it looks like, still. Now, the problem is you want to carry extra. If you keep the line too thin and then you have a random event or you get ambushed and you lose some workers or slaves, then all of a sudden you don't have enough workforce to handle everybody, then you start running into some pretty serious problems. So I don't know what the margin I need to worry about actually is, or the chances we're going to get ambushed. So it's hard for me to make those judgment calls. I know it's a thing. I know I need to worry about it, but I don't know just how bad it's going to be. All right. Anything else? We're done here. Oh, I need to go explore the town. I don't think I think the house rivalries are set. I don't believe I've seen any reference to them shifting in any way. So I think that House A is always going to be an enemy of House B. I just don't know the connections or where you can find that information. That's my belief. I can't say 100% that that's true, but that's what I understand. All right, so we're done here. We can't do anything here because we've completely filled all of our slots. So we can't take any secondary materials to try to trade at Arcane. So let's go to the story side. See if we can get ourselves killed after all that work. Can we make a save while in town? I don't know if there's limits to this. Save day 7, manual save. Yeah, do another save. Sure, override it. Nah, let's not override it. Save, I don't know, save day 8, I guess. Yeah, so we want to go, and we had, so our active tasks, our objectives are the pawnbroker, market district. So we want to find Braxius in the market district. So market district, and there's seek out Braxius store. So symbols mean various things, I assume. We've got the Calrish market, listen to news and rumors, and leave. So go to Braxius first. All right, you make your way to the part of the market district that lies just east of the Calrish market. Takes a while to locate the statue of Mercatus overlooking a dried up fountain carved of dark stone. But when you find it, you can see that the shop is indeed right where Agos said it would be. Huddled between the two taller, decrepit buildings, Braxius' storefront is not much to look at. Only his name is written on the stone slab above the doorway. No sign, no display, no stall, nothing. Inside is a dark little room with a dirty counter, that strange odor, nondescript trash that barely passes for wares, and a demonkin fellow, fiddling absent-mindedly with some gadget. He looks up as you enter. "What can I do for you?" he says, with a ghoulish grin. He can't help it. He has pointed teeth, a big nose, and a crown of jagged horns that not only adorns the top of his head, but also the sides of his jaws. His eyes burn with a pale orange light, and he's surrounded with an almost palpable aura of nervousness. Surely this cannot be the man you were guided to. "Are you Braxius?" Yes, he is Braxius. Specialists specialize in connecting such people. Might have someone you will find useful and even help you in getting them to join you. Ask him who he can get and what this will cost. So this is a way of getting our early companions. My understanding is that this initial method, it picks a random companion from a pool of like 4. And then we have option after that to get a specific one that we can choose. Something like that. So I don't remember exactly how this works. We'll just work our way through it. All right. Who can he get and what will it cost? There's a lady with a very special skill set I have in mind. Not only is she really good at finding her way across the wasteland, but also comes in handy in a fight and can track down basically anyone. Or so she says. She's a bounty hunter. I was told she's looking for a comitatus to join so she can traverse the realms and claim bounties as she does. I also heard that she may have some kind of connection to the Imperials, but you'll have to ask her about that yourself. Her name is Krifta. I don't think I wanted Krifta. Yeah, when you ask him what you owe for this, he simply shakes his head. Nothing. Like I said, I owe Agos, and he told me that I can pay him back by aiding people he sends to me. Alright, at any rate, I can arrange a meeting with Krifta, so sure. I'm not going to read through this whole thing, so he takes us to Krifta. I do have questions for her. So the companions are like sub-characters that you can assign to positions, but they have stories and backstories and kind of quests that they can go on, or that you can go on with / for them to advance their capabilities and kind of complete their storylines. So there's a lot going on in regards to the companions, which ones you pick, what abilities and profession traits they have, which jobs they're allowed to do within the caravan. So picking and choosing and keeping them all happy and not fighting with each other and pursuing their storylines and raising their abilities. It's a big system, which I know nearly nothing about other than just really intro stuff. I'm not sure I'm going to worry about all of this right now. It's mostly lore stuff that I don't particularly care about in this very first try at the game. So I'm going to skip most of this and just say that is all time to decide. So I can take on Krifta and pay her fee of 3 Leerg, take on but try to haggle, or do not recruit. I'm going to go just take on. I'll pay it. All right. She leaves as you down the rest of your drink. She's going to basically head off to the Mancio. There are 2 options. So, sure. Who you got? 2 fellows. So there's the dwarf, and the other one's an orc. So we've got 2 options. I'm going to go for probably the dwarf. I think Krifta is going to be hopefully a good one for like a scoutmaster, hunter type character in our caravan, and the dwarf, I don't know, a defense bonus. We'll see, but let's go for the dwarf. The orc's probably better at combat and companion combat, which is kind of a subset. But let's go for the dwarf for this one. Garrick. Sounds good. All right, so we got Garrick and we got Krifta. So that part's done. Now it's more freeform. We don't have anything else specifically that we've been told to do. Let's go to the Civic or the Temple. Let's go Civic. Gardens, Arena. I think there's arena combats you can go to, and you can like drive a circuit of arenas and have fights at the various arenas. An inn, the library, the infirmary. I think that's where we need to go to get some medicine. Yeah, medical supplies for the road. All right, you always want to make sure you have medicine. And we can buy it by the single, by 3 at a time, or by 10 at a time. I've got 12 brass left. I'm going to buy a stack of 10, and we'll call that good for now. Basically, anytime our people get injured while we're out and about, we have to have meds for them to heal. If we don't have meds, I think they just die if they're wounded and you don't have meds. So we want to make sure we avoid that. So we'll invest in some meds. And then there's also potent antidotes, tools that trained healers can use, Medicos tools, plus 20 bleed resist. Requirements healer, perks granted, +1 healer. Alright, we have none. Seek healing for more serious ailments or leave the infirmary. I'm not going to do too much of this deep dive stuff at the moment. I want to get out on a trading run so you guys can kind of see the basics of that. Then we'll start layering in more and more of this, exploring the nooks and crannies of the gameplay. But that's the last thing I think we really wanted to take care of for now. So let's go ahead and leave the district. I'm not going to risk going into the other city. There's some bad things that can happen to us there. I'm sure there's probably some good events too, but I don't want to risk it until we get some other stuff done. So I think think we're set. Got no slots to carry anything else. I don't want to run myself down to 0 cash because we're going to need some to buy additional materials or to pay gate entrance fees or road taxes or so on. So we definitely don't want to let this get down too far. I'm not going to try to get any new equipment right now. Yeah, I think we're good. I can't think of anything I'm missing. Now, we do have the option to rest here inside, but we're ready to go. I rested before we came in and did things. So one of the reasons I did that was so that I'd be ready to go immediately after taking jobs, where I have a set number of days. If I was down to like 1 or 2 movement points and then took jobs, I'd have to rest, which would then lose me one of the travel days to complete the mission. So I tried to make sure I was ready to go before taking the missions, and now we can use this first day to travel instead of having to rest. So let's just leave and head to Arcane. You trudge towards the city gates. You approach the mighty gates of Torzag's shelter. One can see the scorching desert sky loom above the cruel black battlements. As the Comitatus takes its place in the long line at the vast gate, you notice a lean woman dressed in a bureaucrat's tunic and a cape approach one of your guards and talk to him briefly. They walk up to you soon afterward. Apologies, Vagrus, the woman says, bowing her head politely. I work for the Magistrate of Tax Collection. No need to be alarmed. I'm here to present you an opportunity. I have a message attached to some documents that needs to be delivered to Arcane, to a client of ours. Should you take the message, you'll be compensated upon handing it over. Heck yeah! Take the document case and promise to deliver it. Alright, I'm sure it will be worth your time. Our client is a very resourceful man who works for a researcher of some renown. He awaits the message in the town of Arcane to the north, where he rents a small apartment above a tobacco shop on Siltwade Street. His name is Levantius. With that, she hands over the leather case, bows her head, and takes her leave. You can see her approach the guards, talk to them briefly, point at you, then walk away. After starting the case with your personal belongings, you signal the Comitatus to move on towards the city gate. All right, we get to leave without an inspection. All right, so here we are back on the overworld map. Let's go check the map itself. So there's Arcane, and it's put circles around the mission locations. So we got 3 missions from the various houses, and that's showing us that at this location we've got missions. And it's put Arcane on the map for us. We didn't have that earlier. All right, it should be a pretty profitable run with 3 faction missions plus the tax collector extra mission we just got handed. Now, between here and there, apparently, we have Orc Scar. And my intent is to go off-road, see if we can get any use out of our scouts. Hopefully we don't we don't starve to death on the way there, because we don't have enough scouts to offset our food supply. But we'll see. So my plan is to go kind of a little bit along the road here and then straight north up to Arcane. We're going to skirt the Orc Scar. I think there's some kind of event thing in the middle of it, but we're going to skirt around it for this initial part. I just want to try to get cleanly to Arcane. So let's make another save game. So we got to hook around and then we'll go north. So let's pick. We're still at fervent morale, invigorated. Everything's looking good. 6 days though, that worries me. We better be able to scavenge, or we're going to be in trouble, because I think it's going to take more than 6 days, given us going off road. Going on the road is quite a bit of roundabout. So, all right. If we starve to death, we'll reload from the save I just made. 8 to there, huh? Leaves 1 point left over, but we're on a road, so we're not going to be able to do any hunting anyway. So that would push it. Let's just stick to keeping below the forced march. And then we'll just camp there. Okay, so I think I'm just gonna stay on regular guards until we get off road. I don't know if there's more advisable to go max guards on the road, because you're more likely to encounter bandits and caravan robbers. So I'm not sure. We need 10. So it doesn't say we're losing anything. So it doesn't say we're going to lose vigor or anything like that. So yeah, let's go ahead and go 10 if it's all positives. And then we're not going to do anything here. I could click on these just to show you what it looks like. So I could tell him to go hunting, but because we're on the road, it's got 100% failure rate. And so it's showing you a little bar here that will divide out between critical success, normal success, slight failure, and critical failure. There's 4 different sections. So currently it's just 100% chance of failure. We can't hunt while we're on the road. These 2 we can do. We can forage. This sends out our workers and our slaves, and we get these percentages with this possible reward. It's going to cost us a vigor point to do this. So right there, the little fist symbol is the vigor. So we're going to have to spend a vigor if we do this, but we could with a good return. I think this value is based on the standard success rate, but I'm guessing that that's the case. It could be 0 to 90, possibly, with the middle level being like 50. That's probably more likely. Since it says 0, I'm going to bet that's what's working. Although the critical failure might actually have injuries and so on. So who knows? But yeah, we're not going to bother with this for this first one. We'll wait until we get off-road and we'll try some of this stuff. Oh yeah, I forgot. We have companions. Assigned deputies. Are you... Oh, she actually is qualified. Alright, so notice how these 3 are lit up. I believe those are the ones she's qualified for. If we go take a look at her character sheet, she has a full character sheet just like we do. She has these perks already. And then she has these stats. So armor, evade, power, initiative, accuracy level, etc. She has different resistances to different types of damage. And then these are her combat abilities. When she fights, we can choose between firing a poison arrow, doing an aim shot, suppressing shots, defensive cut. And we'll get into that later if and when we get into fights. I've never actually done fights in the game. I've watched a few videos a long time ago, but I don't remember a whole bunch about them. But basically, she's got these capabilities. They cost varying amounts of power to pick, to use, and they have different accuracy rates and effects. But this is kind of the stuff we're mostly interested in. Now, she also here has her, I think, is that her current insight point she can spend? I don't think that's the point she can spend. Cost proficiency. Oh, she has 0 proficiency. Yeah. All right. Well, she's got Beast Lore 1, Hunting 3, Skulker 2, and Survival 2. That's great. That's what I was hoping to get for our hunting character. Now, for a deputy position, she has 3 possibilities. The Chief Handler, the Scoutmaster, or the Venatorus. Now, the Venatorus is the one I want anyway. That's the +10 hunting base chance, +5 foraging, and +5 lure away. And it opens up an extra animals equip slot. So a master hunter who organizes hunting parties from your scouts, knowledgeable in beast lore and monsters. So she is already qualified for that. She's not qualified for Scoutmaster because in red it shows she requires Navigation 2. She does not have Navigation 2. So as she levels up, if I purchase her the navigation skills and get to Navigation 2, then she would be able to slot into the Scoutmaster position. And then Chief Handler, she's missing both Healer and Beast Lore. So I'm fine with her being the Venatorus. That's kind of what I wanted anyway. So that's the one that she's going to be slotted into. So we'll go to Deputies. There's Scoutmaster, Chief Handler, and Venatorus are the ones that she's allowed to take if she qualifies. So we're going to go Venatorus, which she can do. There we go. What happened to our dwarf? Why do I not have the dwarf? Where's the dwarf? I guess I should have read what was going on. Did he go somewhere and I was supposed to meet him? Do we back up? I mean, what to do there? Let's go ahead and reload real quick. So, was that when I left? They're just a couple minutes apart. That's the autosave when we left. Dwarf will be in other city? Oh, okay. Which other city, though? Arkan? I hope Arkan. Does it say in here? Mention you were sent by Braxius. They are supposed to hand the dwarf over to you. Go to the old bathhouse. Oh, we had to go to the Undercity. So, it's in this city. We just have to go to the Undercity. So, yeah. We're going to lose some money to the gate tax. Undercity. Did it say bathhouse? We're here for someone. Back to the entrance with the dizzy dwarf in tow. Uh-oh. Just when you're about to leave through the gate arch, the dwarf notices something and it yanks him out of his quiet stupor. He leaps surprisingly quickly to the side of one of the guards and grabs something on his belt, then tears it off. Before the guards could reach, he begins shouting, "You bastards! Thought you could steal this and get away with it? I'll tear you a new one." Garrick appears to be holding some kind of an object, golden and with a complicated design. The guards are shocked and getting angry, but the sight of the red-faced dwarf and the object, as well as their orders, give them pause. Alrighty, the one who had the object in his belt says eventually, "Keep the damn things. Damn thing, it ain't gonna do, ain't good for anything anyway." Alright. Follow him down the street. Oh, we're going to a bar. We're sipping mushroom wine. Terrible magical weapon. Not really. It's a pistol. So he's got a ballistic weapon. He comes with a pistol. Alright. Now he is joined. Okay. I don't think yeah, we saved on the way out, so we're ready to go again. Krifta and Garrick. And Garrick is qualified for supercargo. Plus 15% cargo and plus 10 for the negotiate skill and opens up a miscellaneous equipment slot. So, deputies, he can do supercargo. She, so it color codes the one she's actually qualified for. His turned blue, hers turns red. Oh, I'm locked behind. Oh, that's right. I'm locked behind my capabilities for authority. I can only have one person, one deputy currently. We have 7 insight saved up though. Oh, I can't do more authority. How much does it cost? Oh, there we go. Now we have 7 insight and I can buy the authority. We got 4 more points. Let's do... We pick up the last evaluate. With Krifta available. Survival 2, Beast Lore only 1, Hunting 3. And again, I'm a little fuzzy on how my skill compares with their skill. Is it additive? Is it partial bonus when you both have high skill? I don't know how it works. They do all add up for a total bonus? Alright. Let's go all in on hunting. I'll just save that last point. Alright, so now that we have that, now we can get her assigned. So we've got to have enough of that one particular stat, 1 per. We can have a total of 6. So you can't ever have all of these filled up. But we've got the super cargo bonus, more cargo and negotiate, and then Krifta is the Venatorus, which is going to give us better hunting, foraging, and lure away options. The only thing I was curious about was it also opened up a slot. So that slot just opened up, a miscellaneous slot, and that slot, tools? One of the other slots, I forget which one. But like I said, I don't want to shave too much more off my cash supply right now. Can we put this somewhere? Harnesses and defense. So that's miscellaneous. Those aren't available, not available. That's navigation, that's tools, that's harnesses. Where is this defense slot supposed to be? Seems like that would be the defense slot, but it doesn't give me the name of the slot while it's locked. Gotta have a guard captain to get that one done. So we can't do protected harnesses for now. Hunting animals, plus 10 hunting base chance. What slot is it? Animal, oh, we could do a miscellaneous slot. Animals, miscellaneous, offense, and outpost. So we have 2 miscellaneous slots currently. And it's not hugely expensive. Yeah, why not? Hunting animals. We already have 1 extra storage. All right, let's stop there. Leave. Trudge to the city gates. Already taken care of it. All right, new save. Now let's get moving. So we're going to there and camp. All right, not going to do any of this part. I don't need to go extra rations. We'll just keep paying on time currently. We'll do the max guards. We've got our deputies in place for their bonuses. Oh yeah, we have the conversation options with our deputies now. So for Krifta busies herself with fletching arrows, sitting cross-legged some distance away from the crew, preferring to stay away from other people. She looks at you with her beady eyes and cocks her head in that unmistakable bird-like fashion of hers. What do you want, Vagrus? I am quite busy. Job, her past, skills and abilities, connection to the Imperial authorities, bounty, other companions, give her a gift, and stop chatting. So one of the ways you can earn insight is through conversational choices with your various companions. So let's go through a few of hers tonight, and maybe we'll do the dwarf in another couple of nights. I'm not going to read through all of these. Feel free to skim. So, go kill Krog Vor, huh? And take the trophy back to Torzag. I don't know if I accept if it's going to turn on some kind of timer. I'm going to say no for the moment. Alright, used to hang out with scum and villainy, and went out on her own. Handy with a bow. Nobody specific that I know about yet to ask. What do you think about Garrick? Tolerable for a dwarf. Alright. We'll check out Garrick in a day or two. So what other buttons do we have? Heal. Toggle medical supplies. Okay. Disable camp healing results window. I think that's everything. Let's go ahead and hit end of day and get traveling. Alright, only 5 days left. I really hope we have some hunting capability. So I'm going to go 7, and there's a particular reason I'm going to go 7. It leaves 2 points, which we can use for our workers and slaves to scavenge. If we don't have points available, then it costs a vigor, I believe, is the way it works. So let's move to here and camp. So if I turn these on, it's not mentioning, oh yeah, right there. It's 2 movement points to do this. If we didn't have the movement points, we could still do it, but it would cost us, I think, a vigor. So now we've got different numbers. So for hunting, we've got 0 to 440. Now we're only carrying 500 total. That's what we started with. So unfortunately, though, it's a pretty heavy negative for us to get the hunting bonus here. I thought it would be a little higher between having Krifta and such, but I'm going to assume that the number of scouts that we have is what's limiting us currently. But if we even get half of that amount, or a quarter on a failure each night, then we should be able to make it without too much of a problem. This one I'm not as sure is worth it. I run the risk of injuries lowering my workforce for that result, so I'm going to turn those off, and we'll just let the hunters do their thing for the night. And we'll stay on max, stay on 100, pay now. 0? That does not bode well. Wow, alright. Well, now I'm a little worried. 4 days. And we've got a ways to go. Okay. Ooh, 8. No, I don't. Stop that. Youch. 8's a terrible number. I don't want 8. How about... How do you get it to stop? 6 to there, the full movement to there. I don't want to keep going west. I need to get north. Tempted to push our movement rate, but I would really rather not. Alright, let's go to here. We'll have 1 standard movement point left. We're still invigorated. If we try to hunt, yeah, it's going to cost a vigor. Man, I don't want to lose a vigor. The percentages are a little better, but still. I don't need to hit a decent number too often, so if I just get a decent number every even 3rd day, we'd probably be fine. But do I want to use up a vigor? 4 days left. I think we can make it in 4 days if we straight line it. So let's hold off on this. Let's not lose the vigor point. We'll try again next night. Maybe we'll get better percentages. And if it looks like I'm not going to make it, then we'll go all in on scavenging. I'm worried that if the supplies, when I get there, supplies are going to cost a ton. I talked about that earlier. I think they're likely to cost 2, so double price for supplies where we're going. So the more we can get while we travel, the better. Yeah, let's not. Stay at 100, stay full. Yeah, because there's Arcane. I'm not sure, is it that one or that one? I think it's that one. But yeah, we'll make it. At least we'll make it there. We won't have much left over for the return trip, but... Alright, still 9 movements, so we can get to there for 9. Yeah, we're easily within reach with what we've got. I think I'm just going to go 6, and we'll check the hunting numbers without losing vigor. You know, 56% chance for a decent result. Let's go ahead and go with that. I should know better. Oh, I think that's Arcane, right? Yeah, the one above the name. We can get there in a force march. Let's not. We've got 2 days, so... Alright. One more chance. Chance is even worse than before. Man, 40 is the highest number I've rolled so far. Yeesh. Woken by one of your combs before dawn. Her hushed tone and haunted expression shake you up right away. It's about Trachis, Vagrus. She bites her lip while looking for the right word before giving up. You'd better come see for yourself. Uh-oh. Surrounded by several of your crew, sitting on a stone next to the campfire is Trachis, one of your workers. You walk over and you look at him. He looks at you. Apart from not hailing you, there seems to be nothing wrong with him. He's just sitting there, hands on his knees, with a straight back and an aloof expression, glancing about calmly. The rest of the gathering, on the other hand, seem outright terrified. They speak in hushed tones and keep their distance from the man. What's the meaning of all this? Too much to read. So, he went behind a dune, and when he came back, he's all weird and stuff. His tattoos are gone. Okay. Trachis has been changed somehow. Are you Trachis at all? I don't think so. So, have Trachis killed. He does not seem to resist. Banish Trachis. He may have little chance of survival out here, but you can't risk whatever happened to him happening again. Imprison him. Perhaps someone in a city can figure out who or what he is, or order everyone to calm down and accept this new Trachis into the comitatus. He does not seem to mind tagging along. Well, that seems like the most fun option. It's probably the worst choice, but, you know, let's have fun. Okay, -1 morale. What a surprise. Krifta and Garrick lost loyalty. Put on a cart. Most of them are not happy with the decision. Nobody found any trace of the original Trachis, if there ever was one. Trachis falls over and dies. No signs of violence on him, and your combs swear that you did not eat or drink anything. Starts to turn to dust. Nobody wants to touch it. Great. All right, so... You know, we lost a worker, and my choice lost me some morale and trust. So, start of a new day. Enter the town. Travelers, merchants, patrols, and the like move around sluggishly as you approach the settlement, while some of them are just loitering, maybe waiting for something, or just merely resting. Yet one group stands out. At the side of the road, you can see a handful of scantily clad people surrounded by men in dark robes. Screams can be heard. There's clearly violence going on, but the rest of the travelers just walk by without paying attention. Upon getting closer, you assess the situation. The men wearing black are without a doubt priests of Surgorod, who are in the process of mercilessly whipping the poor wretches who appear to be slaves. The angry rants of the priests make it clear that this is punishment for some offense, maybe an escape attempt. Blood soils the dust, and the Surgorodites are obviously taking grim pleasure in their brutal work. None of our business. Move on. Stop and observe. Offer to buy the slaves. Try to free the slaves using force. And this looks like fun. See if they'll let you join the whipping. Wow, that is quite the odyssey of options. Jeez. All right. Well, for an intro starter, let's learn how to play type of game, we should probably say none of our concern to move on. I don't think I have the money to buy the slaves. We're pretty low until we cash in these missions. I would like to, but I definitely am not going to do that. We'll just die. Not going to do that one. So it's really just observe or none of our concern. None of our concern. Behave as all the other travelers. Proceed without as much as looking. After all, something like this is a rather usual sight in the Riven realms, and it is not sensible to meddle in the affairs of Surgerites. The agonizing screams of the slaves and the relentless cracking of the priest whips continue behind you. Just business as usual in the Empire.